This is a nightmare house.
New construction that started falling apart within a few months.
And the problem continues.
Windows that bowed out. Walls that leaked with rain or snow.
We could smell the gas.
An oven tagged as
an explosion hazard.
Then this. Water the last place it should be.
This was a significant volume of water.
And finally, the structure of the building itself, discovered by a city engineering review.
The beam over the garage door, high enough to withstand a wind shear event or a high wind event. I can't use my garage, I can't use my shower, I can't use one of the light fixtures, I can't use my oven.
The builder, Sustainable Design Build, didn't return our emails asking for comment. A dream house turned nightmare. She just wants fixed.
The number of issues that I've had is unbelievable. And it makes me fearful for what I haven't noticed yet, for what's going to develop in the future.
The builder, Sustainable Design Build, didn't return our emails asking for comment. It was supposed to start in July.
It's 3 months later. The work still hasn't been done. As far as I know, it hasn't been scheduled.
The level of incompetence in this 1 minute clip is just ridiculous. You know how many people have to come together to work on one home? Between the contractors, between the builders, the pipe layers, whoever is working, the people who are doing plumbing, landscaping. There's a lot of people who have to come together and work on one home. And for there to be this many issues, this almost seems like an inside job. I don't know, and then they said the building structure itself was not good. So the city didn't inspect this building? Because I don't know much about buying homes, man. I've never owned a home, but I'm just saying, this seems like common sense.
Man, I didn't want to take this to TikTok, but I feel like I have no other option. I'm just at the end of my rope. 2 years ago, we bought what we thought was our dream home with Oakwood Homes in Colorado. And it has been nothing but a nightmare. We have had multiple major issues with our home. We're talking major plumbing leaks, mold, flooring popping up, the subflooring is uneven. Our garage is flooded. The room I'm in has flooded. It was full of mold. It took them months to fix that. Anyways, our most recent issue, and the other ones, all of them haven't been fixed. Our flooring is still popping up downstairs, and we're paying $3,400 a month for this house. And it's falling apart. And they won't do anything about it. Well, our 2-year-old air conditioning unit went out a couple months ago, and so we got it serviced. I had people come out and fix it. It's only 2 years old. It's a brand new house. Well, there was insulation all up in our furnace. And the only way that could have happened is if, when the house was being built, they were negligent, insulation got in the furnace. So there's insulation all up in our furnace, which is a fire hazard. We have 2 young children. It could quite literally catch our home on fire when we turn the heat on. We're in Colorado. Anyways, Oakwood Homes and their warranty company, Shazam, did what they do and say, oh yeah, we'll take care of it. And of course they're not. And now they're refusing, and we're going to have to use what money we have left to sue them, like our neighbors are having to do. This is not an isolated incident. Our neighbors are dealing with issues, some of them even worse than us, and they're not being addressed, and they've had to go the legal route. Unfortunately for us, the economy has put our family in a really shitty spot the last couple years, and we didn't really want to shell out our savings account and our emergency money to fight our home builder in court. But now we don't have an option. We want to sell our home and move, but we can't because it needs to be fixed to sell it to move, and they will not fix it. We're supposed to be under a warranty. Okay. Anyways, Sorry I'm so emotional, but I just got off the phone with one of the building managers who has been telling us for months that everything was going to be fixed, and he just hung up on me because I was crying on the phone. So, anyways, Oakwood Homes, don't buy from them. Actually, any new home, just don't buy it. Just buy an older home. I will never, mark my words, never will I live in a new construction home again in my life. Ever. I'm done.
Can you imagine spending upwards of nowadays probably $400,000 to $500,000 on a house? The median price for a home used to be around like $250,000, depending on where you went. Like that was like an average price. Nowadays it's like $500,000. And then 2 years later, you're having issues with the house. But not only are you having issues with the house, the AC unit that's supposed to be brand new, that's supposed to last a minimum of 5 to 10 years, is already having issues. Man, I would be livid. I can understand why this lady's in tears, man. I almost don't understand why she's not in all black, but that's a whole different story. And then to add insult to injury, you're having to shell out upwards of probably $50,000 to $100,000 to fight legal battles that you technically should not even have to fight because your home should still be under warranty. Man, look, this home market is evil, bro. I don't know how else to call it. Like that is insane. Like I said, I don't know anything about buying homes, but I know that once you sign the contract, it becomes real difficult for you to do anything else. And that paperwork is a fool.
Tell you guys about the time where me and my husband became first-time homeowners. Okay, here we are. We were so happy, right? Literally, the very next day after moving in, we noticed water coming up from the floorboards. So we started lifting up the floorboards and water just gushing out, gushing out, gushing out. We're seeing old molds in the baseboards. Like, this was literally a nightmare. As you can see, we're just pulling up more floorboards and seeing more and more water coming up. They literally had to cut the walls because there was so much water damage. There's the floor in the kitchen. They had to completely remove the whole floor on the first level. That's the living room floor gone, okay? Literally a nightmare. As first-time homeowners, I literally had to file an insurance claim for $100,000. I had to get a lawyer because, I mean, how is this even legal for us to just move into this house? Yes, before you ask, yes, we did get an inspection. They did not find anything. I had to pay for all of this stuff up front, waiting for insurance to pay me back on the back end. This process literally went on for months. I kid you not, I had no appliances at all until July. So from March till July, we were eating out morning, lunch, dinner. Do you know how much money I spent? And I had just exhausted all of my savings buying the damn house. Here I am here just trying to make the best out of a situation because I was literally graduating with my master's, living in hell. Finally, the kitchen was done, and this is the final product in July, literally 5 months later. Okay. Couple months later, yet another plumbing problem. And look at this, water dripping from the ceiling. They had to rip out the ceiling to fix this pipe that had been damaged for God knows how long.
So basically, this lady probably shelled out another $150,000, I'll call it, because she's probably leaving out some stuff on top of whatever the cost of the home was, the down payment and all that stuff. Having to fight a case for a home that they knew. You can't tell me the people didn't know they was out of pocket when they sold her this house. Like, man, look, I don't, like I keep saying, I've never owned a home, but this stuff made me not want to own a home. Looking at these videos, I'm like, oh no, that sounds like a whole headache. And I'm not saying like, you're not going to deal with trials and tribulations in your life regardless of the fact, but this look like this is a bad idea. Abort mission. Well, the good thing is the lady got her master's. The good thing is she was able to get it fixed, and I'm assuming she won the case and she was able to get it sold. So kudos to her. But that's enough problems to make me never want to buy a house again that I seen just now. So hopefully she's more adventurous than I am, because I'd have been like, whoop, that's the only home we ever gonna own in this lifetime. I can't do it.
So, about a year and a half ago, I bought a brand new house. It's like a dream home for me, you know? And little did I know how it would ruin my life. This is not normally how I look or sound. I have been poisoned by my house. My story is so crazy, everything I've experienced with this new build. But if I could share something with you, is that watch the process of your new build and check your AC by your AC guy, not theirs. My house has mold in it. I am so sick here. I'm stuck in this house. I have almost a 9% interest rate, and $3,000 of my mortgage goes to interest every month. My house, they forgot to put the vapor wrap or barrier wrap in it. My AC was installed wrong, oversized unit with exposed holes everywhere. My whole house was built with moldy lumber. Every night, I sleep on my couch. These are my couches. I'm sick of it. I can't sleep in any of the rooms because I can't breathe. My throat hurts every day. I have the most insane symptoms every day from the mold exposure. I find myself getting off the couch to go outside to get fresh air because I can't breathe the air in here anymore. I get to a point where I can't handle it. I would have never thought this would be me. It could be anybody. It's actually really common with a lot of these new builds. They just throw them up so quick, and they do such a crappy job installing the AC. I mean, you're doomed if your AC is oversized for your space, because mold will start to grow in your house. Needless to say, through this whole horrible experience, the builders have tried to cover it all up, remediating and covering it up. We found the mold again today, and I'm suing my builders.
It seems to me like this home buying experience is like a very common experience, just from me doing a little bit of research. And if so, like, where are the laws that stop these things from happening? Because we have a law in place for everything else. If you go outside, and I mean, there's some places you can't even smoke a cigarette in the wrong place without being penalized. So if we have laws to that extent, what is the problem with getting this handled? The only thing I can think of is that a lot of these people are corrupt, man. Once they get your money, they don't care about what happens on the back end. And I mean, the law should be there to protect you, but it doesn't seem like it's doing a pretty good job, because look how many people are going through this same situation.
Oh my God, have you heard this story?
Burke County say they're battling some serious structural issues in homes they bought brand new. One homeowner telling WCNC Charlotte a private inspector says she has up to $300,000 worth of expenses, and now she's asking, where's the money?
There is enough evidence at Catherine Graff's home that the North Carolina Licensing Board of General Contractors opened up an investigation into the builder, and she told me she doesn't want others to have to go through the same ordeal. Catherine Graff bought a newly built home in the Saratoga Run development of Morganton.
Yes, brand new.
When did you move here?
I moved here last year in May of 2023. I got a home inspector. I did everything I'm supposed to as a home buyer.
Shortly after, a red flag.
Within about a month of moving in, I started finding carpenter ants, which I started digging further and actually watching them. I have video of them coming in through the large gaps in the siding.
The finding prompted her to go further.
So when I started going underneath and looking at some of this stuff, I'm like, wait, this just doesn't seem right to me. I shouldn't have pillars that aren't straight, that are cockeyed, and pillars that should be, you know, that are above my height that I can see through.
She reached out to the builder, Timothy Truitt of CMTT Properties and Belmont Builders.
And he pretty much said nope and sent me a letter from his lawyer telling him not to contact him anymore. I sent him kind of a request of the multitude of issues from the foundation to the structure to code violations that needed to be addressed, asking him to address them under the 1-year warranty.
So Graff contacted the county.
He sends out the inspector. He starts to walk through some of the stuff. He even misquoted some of the codes. So underneath you have a water vapor shield, which is like a big thick piece of plastic that's supposed to go all the way across your crawl space, and it's supposed to cover all your crawl space. We was like, well, we only enforce 90% here in Burke County. Well, the state code is 100%. So when he kind of said that, I kind of said, okay, I'm not going to get anywhere with this in my own head.
We also reached out to Burke County officials. In an email, the office of Burke County Manager Brian Epley responding, saying in part, quote, "We have a set rule of standards that are followed anytime a new build or development is proposed." The response also stating that, quote, "Ultimately, any build project is a contract between the homeowner and builder." Adding, quote, "Our county staff thoroughly investigated this property and turned over our findings to the NC Licensed General Contracting Board for further investigation involving the builder."
My house framing actually failed its home inspection by the county. It never appears to pass according to county records. On top of that, there's the building permit.
Graff discovered the county inspection sheets indicate the construction of the house started in September of 2022. Following our own request of the builder's licensing history from the state board, it is clear that the builder's license would have been invalid at the time.
He didn't have a valid license at the time when he applied for the building permit. The county didn't even do a license search until 30 days later, and I have that with a timestamp. So the county really didn't enforce these state laws, and it's really impacted myself and multitude of other neighbors.
I reached out to Truitt and left a voicemail. I also contacted his lawyer's office. I was told they are not representing him in this specific case.
I'm never going to get my money back from this house. All my retirement, everything. I mean, this is your biggest investment of one's lifetime, and it's gone.
It's a small town, obviously, but what do you want to say to the county?
What I want to say is please, guys, get your act together. This is hurting your citizens. You guys can do better for us as citizens.
Well, the Office of the Burke County Office Manager says the county is constantly reflecting on their processes and seeking feedback, and that their team has a quality assurance process to ensure suggestions and recommendations are considered.
Can you imagine getting the news involved in your situation and still having a hard time getting to a proper ending to your situation? Like getting due process in your situation after having the you know, wherever she's from, the news company come in and try to help her. She's still having issues with these people. Man, look, they fixing all these laws and all this stuff all over the place. What is going on with this? Because people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home. This is not like $20 where you go and maybe, I don't know, you went to McDonald's and got a meal and they didn't give you your meal. All right, cool. You could take a loss on that. I'm not saying that you should, but you could. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Somebody's got to do something about this, man. This is crazy. The fact that they don't have a clean-cut way to fix this right now makes no sense. At least to me, it doesn't.
If you are looking at buying a new construction house and comparing builders and thinking about purchasing through Lennar, I highly suggest you rethink that and don't go with a Lennar home. We are coming up on our 1 year of living in our house and still fighting for things that were supposed to be covered under our warranty to be taken care of. When we moved in, we were made all these huge promises, like our garage was going to be flecked and sealed because of things that they messed up on. Guess what? Never happened. We were also told that ceiling fans were going to get put in our house because they forgot to put the gooseneck covers on the top of our house, and we had that hurricane last September, and it ended up pouring through our master bedroom ceiling and causing major damage. Well, we never got the ceiling fans, and we're now almost a year to that happening, and they just finally came to finish that problem and fix it. Their workers came and took off the things from the ceiling and then just left, never put them back up. We also have clumps of paint and drywall all over our master bedroom carpeting. and they never came back to fix that either. So they'll give you a bunch of promises and they will never come through with that. They'll just get you to try to shut up. When you do your walkthrough with Lennar, they go around with this blue painter's tape and they tell you that everywhere they put the tape, they're going to come back and fix. Well, here we are a year later and we still have tape in all of our windows, on our walls, on our light fixtures, on our outlets, our switches. There's blue tape all over my house. They never came back and did anything with that blue tape. So I think that's just to show you that like they care when they're doing their walkthrough, but they're not going to come back and fix any of that either. That's all for show. Here's our master bathroom mirror. They damaged it when they were installing it. They scratched off the back of the mirror. They said they were putting it in just for closing and then they were coming back and putting in a new master bathroom mirror. It never happened. Why am I hanging out by the thermostat? That's because they've come out 3 different times to fix our air. We have no air coming in our master bedroom. It gets 86 degrees in there. They come out, they clickety-clack it, touch little buttons. They're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to order something and come back out. And then they never do. And then they send my husband emails to DocuSign and close off that we had that taken care of, except we never had it taken care of. And I don't know if you can tell in the video, but like everything was installed crooked in my house. All of the vents are crooked. Nothing is even. They said they were coming to fix those and straighten everything out. Never happened. We are missing shelves in our kitchen. Like they just totally didn't put them in. This is in several cabinets, but they said that's not covered under their warranty. And in the other cabinets, there's no brackets to hold them. Look at it. They came to come and do work and then signed off and said this is finished. This one's also hard to show in the video, but it's an inch difference from one corner of the window to the other side. They completely put the framing on sideways. And they want us to sign off on this saying that they finished the concrete while they patched it and did not paint it. But sure, Lennar, it's all done. Our concrete in our driveway crumbling after 4 months, but they said that's not covered either. Footprints and paint from...
So a home is one of the most important things that you'll buy in your life. I believe they said the order is a home, well, own in your life, sorry. Said that a home, your vehicle, and then your child, or however you, I guess your child would be first, obviously, because it's the most important. Either way, the way that these people are negligent afterwards, after people pointing things out, is on a criminal level. This has got to be Ponzi scheme type level of negligence. And I'm wondering, like, the only way that this continues to happen is if the regulation boards keep allowing it. And the only thing that I'm thinking of is maybe they all got to be in cahoots with each other, because what is this at this point? Like, what exactly are we doing as a people? Screwing other people over just to get by is insane. Anyways, this is going to be the end of the video, y'all. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified the next time that I upload. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.